Okay, so it's an honor or privilege to be here with Hugo Garcia, the local business owner here in El Sereno. He's the owner of Quality Printed Solutions. So thank you so much for being here.
You're very welcome.
Okay.
It is my privilege. Thank you for choosing me.
You're the first one. All right, so can you tell us a little about the audience and myself, a little about yourself, about your background?
Sure. I was born in Guatemala, Central America, and I'm an immigrant to the United States. I arrived when I was 15 years old in 1974.
Mm-hmm.
I came with a student visa, which, shortly it's that I lost my visa and I stayed, and I kind of did things quickly.
Okay.
I married when I was 19.
Wow.
I attended Woodrow Wilson High School, right coming in, and that's where I learned printing.
Okay.
When I got married, I decided, what am I going to do? What I'm going to work? And the only thing that I knew was print shop.
Okay. So you were born in Guatemala. You grew up there. You're 15.
Yes.
And when you came here as a young man, were you with your family, with your parents, or?
No, I had two older brothers living in Sereno.
Okay.
And I came and stayed with them.
Okay.
And no, I'm sorry.
It's okay, no worry.
And they were the one who supported me, and they sponsored me to get my student visa.
Okay. So then you graduated high school, and then you were already like about 18 that time?
Yeah, I was 18, 1978. I'm class of 78.
All right. And how did you get interested in printing? How did that become something that you gravitated to?
What happened is that I graduated, I took printing because at that time you had to take, it was part of the curriculum in high school, right? You had to take some type of trade. And I took the printing technology.
Oh.
And I liked it. Then when I graduated early, but I couldn't go back. I had to stay an extra semester.
Mm-hmm.
And all my classes were finished, so the consular at that time, Ms. Gomez, told me, so what do you want to do, sports or something? And I talked to Mr. Lopez, the teacher of print shop at the time, and he says, well, you could come and take that 6 hours of printing.
Okay, wow.
So I just went to school to printing.
So I mean, you were in Guatemala to 15, so you must have had some kind of advanced education there to come here and graduate like within 2.5 years. I mean,
the story, it's funny because, see, at that time Guatemala was starting and going through a civil war.
Uh-huh.
And actually I was expelled from junior high because I was, at a young age, I was involved in protesting and supporting the citizenships. I was pretty much against the government. And because of my participation, I was expelled, and I wasn't accepted. I was in the blacklist, you could say, black book, and even my dad tried to enroll me in private schooling, and they wouldn't take me.
So, how did you finish high school so fast? You must have been you spoke English already when you came, or you?
We took classes. My father, he was a pretty visionary.
In Guatemala?
In Guatemala. I didn't really speak that much because we didn't care at the time. We didn't see the importance of it. But he had a private teacher come over to our house and teach us English. And in junior high in Guatemala, it's an obligation to take 3 years. It's a class, and you have to pass it.
To take a foreign language.
A foreign language.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then you spoke English when you came here, and then did you finish high school so fast, or you get all your credit? Did you take extra classes, or had you summer school?
I did want to go back to Guatemala. I was very patriotic. My heart was in Guatemala. You could imagine being someone who hasn't really traveled that much. I have kind of tunnel vision when you come to that. United States would have been my choice of country, but that's what life gave me. So I wanted to get back to Guatemala as soon as possible. So yes, I did. I took summer classes. I behave as much as possible. That was one of the conditions that my parents gave me. That if you behave, we take you back. And that was actually my desire of finishing school quickly, was so that I could go back.
No, that's quite impressive, because even people that come here that grew up here, you know English their whole life, they have trouble, finishing high school.
But English wasn't that advanced, it was pretty basics. So I still did homework with a dictionary. Yes. But I did say when I was in ESL classes in Wilson, I would ask for extra work. I would do as much as I could to get through it as soon as possible.
Okay, all right, so, good for you.
Yeah.
So you took 6 classes, 6 hours of printing at the end of Wilson when you already finished all your.
My last semester in 1978. So, I kind of helped. I learned, and I have to give a lot of credit to Mr. Joe Lopez, the teacher at the time. He was a really passionate teacher, very old school. He reminded me a lot of my father, and he cared for you to learn.
Yeah.
He was old school. I mean, the machine's talking to you. Can you see? And it was like, sometimes I used to get nervous when he would come. I see him coming over to whatever I'm learning, because I knew I was gonna get it. But because of that, it was, truly, when I got out and my first job in printing, it wasn't hard. He prepared as well.
So you worked for somebody before? When you got out of high school, a printer, or how'd you get?
My first job here, I took an A position with Mr. Lopez. And I even
teacher aide position.
Yes.
Teacher assistant. Okay.
Assistant.
Okay.
Yeah. And I have a diploma he gave me for accomplishing that. Then I got out, and I wasn't very happy because I couldn't go back to Guatemala because of what was going on over there. Actually, my father told me, "Don't come back."
Okay.
And he lost his job. So truly, at that age, being a teenager, I didn't quite took it well, and I felt betrayed by my parents. I said, "You lied to me. This was the agreement."
Sounds like you had to grow up quickly.
Yeah. So actually, I took kind of I became a rebel without a cause, to say. And for a small period of time, I hanging around with the wrong crowd. So I had my share of experiences streetwise.
Okay, but you said you started working for a printer when you were 19.
Yes, because I met the mother of my kids, and I fell in love. So I could say I didn't go back to Guatemala because I fell in love.
Yes.
That made the difference.
Okay.
And because of her, I gave up much of my bad habits, so what I was doing. And then at 19, I had my first daughter. I married immediately.
Yeah.
And at 1980, my daughter was born. But anyway, graduating right out of high school, my teacher followed up on me. And he said, "What are you doing?" And I said, "Well, I'm looking for work." So he went back to some students that he had already had in the industry, and he placed me.
Okay, where was that at?
It was Mission Insurance.
Okay.
It took a little while, so I did went out. At that time, I was already you could say my papers were not in order. I was illegal in the country, so it was kind of hard to get a job.
Yeah.
But I did want to knock doors. That's what I knew. And I started working for Century Graphics on El Segundo Boulevard.
Okay, by the airport?
By the airport.
Okay.
And they did blue lines. And the story, it's quite nice because, I didn't have a job. I didn't have a car then either. So a friend of us, Rafael Peña, we graduated together from high school. And he's the one who took a job with me at Century Graphics so we could write together. It was a night job, my first job truly ever. aside of that. So we got in at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and we're supposed to get out at midnight, but this place was busy. So the first day, I got out at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Oh wow!
So it was kind of
15 hours.
yeah, and
So
then
like overtime, right?
yeah.
Okay.
But again, I was interested in doing
Okay.
things, so that was my first job.
Okay. And then how many years did you work in for someone else for a printing company?
Before I opened the shop,
Yeah.
I opened the shop in 1982, so I'd say I've worked in the industry for about 3 years.
3 years. Okay. So when you first opened, you were very young.
I was 22.
22. Okay. So I guess my other question is, what inspired you to open up your own printing shop? I mean, being so young, and because 90% of businesses end up failing, and so you're young with a family. What inspired you to do this?
I have to say that it was my kids. I was a young parent, and the odds were against me. Truly, that how to say it, the inspiration were my kids. When I opened the shop, I already had 2 kids, 2 beautiful kids, Sonia and Liliana, and I wanted to give them the best possible, education, and for experience, and knowing that you don't really get ahead that much working for someone else. I do come from a family background of business. We had a small market, we also had a tailor shop.
Okay.
And my father was an aircraft mechanic. That's a whole story on its own. But I think I knew that working, it limits you, or it's a lot harder.
Okay.
Business opens up
More opportunities.
opportunities.
Okay. And so you opened it here at this location right now where we're at, or somewhere else?
No, I opened it next door.
Okay.
Where I think it's a beauty salon now, Maya's Beauty Salon.
Okay. So you're right here. And so what inspired you to open up your business here in Northeast LA in El Sereno?
Because I was already in El Sereno. I love this place. If you see, at that time it was a little bit more difficult, but not to get there. This is what I knew. Like I told, I really never traveled that much. And when I came, because I was focused on studying and doing something better, I didn't really know many areas. And in looking how to get ahead, and to tell you, I did. My desire was answered with a lot of people that showed up on my way that supported that dream.
Yeah. So that was 40 years ago. That was a long time ago. I mean, really,
Yes.
that's quite an accomplishment. And so things have changed over time. The printing industry has changed. Right now.
Yes.
Right now. What are some printing things that you offer now?
Well, with my experience in, like you said, 40 years in the field, I pretty much know a lot. My knowledge, what truly it is that we did change with technology.
Yeah.
When they first came in 1989, pretty much was that big change that you could see.
Yeah.
And it was, well, nowadays, I still manufacture, but technology offered an opportunity for what we call these big, how do we say, companies that are truly very difficult to compete with them.
Yeah.
They're super printers, we call them. And we pretty much became salesmen for them. So I would say that 85% of my business is more brokerage in business,
Okay.
brokerage in printing.
And what are the popular items that people tend to order or get from you? I know I get business cards, I get postcards from you,
Yes,
very, very helpful.
thank you.
But like, besides myself, what are some other things people?
Well, from the public, mostly are signage, signs, banners, events, like tabletops, everything that could be done for events. That's pretty much popular at the moment. All the stationery, when it came to mailing envelopes, letterheads, business cards, all that have down the very much. It's a lot less than it used to be, but it's still something that a service that we provide. Nowadays, I have become more of a special printer, right? It's something that when they go to websites or when they go to small places or more I could say commercial businesses, they don't find knowledgeable stuff. They might be knowledgeable as to how to run the equipment, but not knowledgeable how to do it. So when it comes to custom or hard items to use, that's pretty much I would say what I make most of my business now.
Sorry, in what? In specialty?
It's special custom work.
Custom work, okay. Customized.
Things that people don't, they go someplace and they might ask, can I get this engraving business card with the specialty stock? Most attendants of the other quick printers don't know what they're talking about.
So you're able to provide personalized, customized service to people because you're
Yes.
smaller.
Yeah.
Okay. And what else would you like the folks at home in the World Wide Web to know about your business?
That I love the neighborhood. When we first started, as you know, we started with Carlos Morales, the Bicentennial Committee newspaper, and at the time we donated 10,000 pieces. We wrote and we donated it.
How long ago was that?
That was in the 80s. All the ads that we sold, all the money that was raised was for the parade. At that time I was coaching my kids in soccer, and with permission of the parents, I had a lot of kids from soccer. We went door to door distributing the newspaper. It was lots of fun. I participated. I think I shared that with you, with about 4 Chamber of Commerce.
So you have a long history of participating in the community, in the local businesses. Because you're a resident and
yes,
do so.
I lived in Sereno all my life. Well, actually, after a short period of time, I moved to Highland Park for a couple of years. Then I bought a home in 1986, right here on Druid Street, going up to Woodson. And you know that I would say this now, and I would say to my kids, you have to cultivate and you have to take care where you live and the community, because they give you the opportunity to grow. They give you the opportunity to have my kids to do it. So the importance that the community gets better, that the community grows, is important. You can't just expect to be given and to be taken care of you. You have to contribute. You have to cooperate to make it better. That's my view. And I don't care for us. It's definitely a much better place now than it used to be 4 years ago. That's, I think, there's a lot of good people here.
All right, cool. No, so thank you for the interview.
Oh, you're
And
very
my
welcome.
my last question: when are you running for city council? I'm just kidding. No, but thank you for your service, the customized business cards, the postcards. All I do when I want something, I just send him a text message. This is what I want. He texts back, these are the options. This is the pricing. I text back, this is what I want, and he texts back, here it's ready, and just come pick it up. So anyway, thank you, Hugo. Folks out there, check out Hugo Garcia, Quality Printed Solutions here in El Sereno. And if you are a local business and you like to be profiled on this channel, or you know of a local business that you want to be profiled, let me know. Take care.